the main topic of tonight is with iiRcade having probably, I think, in my opinion, it had the most momentum coming out of the year than any of the other home arcade companies. I mean, the features and stuff that they've added to it, all the games that they've put in place, the announcements, the stuff that we have to look forward to, like online play and the new cabinet design. We're like, they're coming out with some serious momentum. But the question of the night is, in 2022, what are the key moves that iiRcade can do to keep up that momentum? What do you guys think?
I think we should really get going on some button mappings just in general. But for the fighting games specifically, now it seems like that iiRcade is probably going to go into the SNK library, the NeoGeo library, fairly heavily. And the more that they jump into that, the more that you're going to have to go with the proper button configuration for the NeoGeo. And I decided it'd be better for me just to kind of tell you guys instead of show you. But yes, some of the games require you to press 2 buttons to pull off the special moves.
And as you can see here, I got Rage of the Dragons playing on both my MVSX and the iiRcade. And we're going to go over the correct button configuration for NeoGeo games. It's red, yellow, green, and blue in this configuration. Now, the iiRcade can pull it off. You just have to do it like this using X, A, B, and C. You do not do it this way, which is the way they have it configured. And you can see I can pull off these moves on my MVSX because you need to use 2 buttons for these special moves. So much easier than on my iiRcade. I was able to figure it out on my iiRcade, but it took me a while, and it's complex, and it's not correct.
That's. I'm glad that you showed that. It's easier to see than to explain it.
That was kind of my point,
Yeah.
Okay, now what I gotta say is, let's get that backdrop emulation in there. What brought me to iiRcade was when they released Dragon's Lair. I saw them on P-Dubs. I believed in Jong. They came out with the console. Dragon's Lair is an amazing version of the game, and they gotta give Space Invaders that AAA treatment like they did to Dragon's Lair. Give the game the respect it deserves. What do you guys think?
Dude, I completely agree. I think, in a broader sense, I think what you're basically trying to say, it feels like to me, is just they need to do it right, right?
Do it right.
So when they've got an idea, something that they want to implement, do it 100% right. Don't kind of skimp on it. And,
Exactly.
Well, and it's the same kind of thing. Like, we've heard rumors and stuff about like Golden Tee. But if you're going to do something like that, you have to have a trackball, right? Like, to me, that's just like putting half effort into it if we're going to do something like that and play it with a joystick. It's kind of like if you're going to put out Space Invaders without backdrops and that kind of thing, it's like you don't want to do things halfway. Do it right or don't do it at all.
Either do it right or don't do it at all. And they've done such a great job. When I play a game like Burger Time or Elevator Action or Dragon's Lair, man, I feel like I'm at the arcade, and I gotta say that's a fantastic thing.
I don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they're not doing things fully. Like, some of the things, they're blowing us away. Like, we ask for scan lines and they give us like 10 different options, right? So I'm not saying that they're not doing it that way, but they have to keep that momentum up. Don't start skimping on stuff and doing things halfway, right? Like, that's pretty important.
Back with like the button mapping and stuff, like you say with the scan lines, they can just put them right in the menu there, and just like they have all the other options, and we can add it in and be good to go, man.
Yeah. And I think especially like if they just did the fighting games, like give us the option on the fighting games to set up our button config the way we like.
Right.
I mean, a lot of the other games, it's not that crucial. If you have one button, you can kind of it's not that big of a deal. But on a fighting game, man, you got to have those buttons exactly where you want them. And while they're at it, let's get Karate Champ with 2 joysticks working. That's long overdue.
Well, okay, wait. The button mapping thing, like, don't bite off more than we can chew, too, right? So, like, don't come out and say, we're going to have button mapping for all 260 or whatever games there are.
Just do
If
the
that's
fighters.
if that's a huge undertaking, you start with the fighter games. Start with the ones that need it the
and
most,
breakers.
right?
Do Rage and Breakers to start.
Yeah,
We
start
would
there.
love it as a community. I mean, I know I would love to have button mapping on those games.
Those two are a must, in my opinion. A must.
So,
DK, you haven't said anything. What do you think of momentum in 2022? What do they need to do?
I want to touch on the button mapping real quick. I think it's going to be really important long term for iiRcade to set up button mapping configurations per genre, right? Fighting games, shoot 'em ups, right? Beat 'em ups, things like that, so that you can actually say, hey, this is my mapping for a fighter. This is my mapping for, a shoot 'em up, etc. I think that'd be really cool. In regards to momentum, for 2022, I mean, obviously, iiRcade's off to a monster awesome start with this new Gen 2 cap. I think the biggest things are going to be games, right? I mean, obviously, we've already got the cabinet. They've got amazing sound. I mean, the screen's beautiful, right? We've got sandwalk controls. I think my two favorite companies that I'd like to see on here would probably be NeoGeo and Sega. So I'm excited to see what kind of NeoGeo games, what kind of Sega games we could be playing in 2022. So that's my big thing right there.
So just they need to get them big titles. Is that what you're?
Yeah, AAA. I mean, even if we're playing, let me give you a perfect example, right? Even if we're playing Go Round Mark of the Wolves, who would like to see that on the iiRcade? Right?
oh yeah, let's get those games.
What game?
Want games? Who doesn't want games?
Mark of the Wolf. Hold on, wait. I've never heard of this. Mark of the Wolf.
You've never heard of Go Round Mark of the Wolves? It is one of the
fighter.
greatest fighters ever made.
Oh, see, it's a fighter. See, I don't play a lot of fighters. I'm really bad at fighting games, so
Well,
that explains it.
Can I say something about the fighting games here real quick? Now, don't let Jeff be coy with you. Now, they put me up on the big screen here, but he has a Mortal Kombat machine back there. I've seen it. And also, when we were practicing for getting on StreamYard and everything, he got up and walked away. And I saw Street Fighter 2 something back there, Jeff. Something.
It's my big blue. I just use it to troll people. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have a.
He's actually P-Dub's #1 fan. He's P-Dub's
I'm actually
#1
P-Dubs. No, I am P-Dubs, actually. It's a
No, but the people on Big Blue know what I'm talking about. That's right.
Oh, there's a guy whose name is P-Dub's #1 fan.
See,
is he
he's
good?
Being coy. He's being
is he
coy.
good? I don't know.
Coy.
I mean, I am his #1 fan, but I'm not on. I don't have a Big Blue, but yeah. So, the other thing is okay. So online, Mikey, what you had something to say about this too, right? Like they need to do online, and get it right.
Well, absolutely. I mean, but I have faith that they will get it right. I mean, and once they get down into it, I mean, just having that library of arcade games and whatever newer games that end up going online, it's going to be a blast, and I'm looking forward to playing with all you guys on there for sure.
I feel like the online could be a big risk, right? They could either do it right or they could really screw it up. And I have faith that they're going to do it right, but they've got to have lobby systems right. They got to have no lag. They've got to have matchmaking, and that. I mean, they have to have all this stuff figured out. Otherwise, it could be a total failure, right? I mean,
all I got to say, Jeff, is I believe, because
they've proven themselves.
Since they did the retro games, the first thing I said is we need. Every single time they did a retro game, I said, we need pixel perfect. We need pixel perfect. We need pixel perfect. And they did it, man. And it's amazing. It separates the iiRcade from other machines. The thing is, keep that quality. If you're going to bring it to the iiRcade, keep the quality and optimize those games. I would rather wait and have a perfectly optimized game than get a game that's rushed out. How do you guys feel?
I agree.
And they've proven that they're doing a good job with what they're putting out. In general, they're doing a really good job.
Yeah, I think with Jong, I mean, I went back and I watched a bunch of his live streams just to kind of get an idea of who he is. I mean, I'm starting to engage with him a little bit, but I mean, these guys are passionate. They're hardcore, and I don't have any doubt at all that 2022 is going to be off the hook. So
yeah. I saw a comment in there from Tony C. said something about Jeff said Space Invaders is 3 minutes of fun, which is it's true. I did say that. I went to Tony C.'s house the other day and I got to play on his virtual pin thing. So you guys can't say I've never played on one of those virtual pins.